That's not the subject from today. Like my video that I published last week about concentration and focus, the video from today is also about the mental aspects from making recordings and doing live performances. I'm an organist, so I use my Hauper console as an instrument. But of course this video is usable for any musician, with keys or whatever, a violinist, a trombone player, whatever. And the subject from this video is heart versus head. And it's a bit of a philosophical video. So it's not too easy and I have to use a lot of, for me, difficult English words. I'm a Dutch native speaker, so I have a paper to look at the most difficult words of today. I'll warn you, it's a bit of a brainy videos. I hope you like it. If you don't, you always can go to my music or to music from others. But I hope you like it. But before we go into music, we have to go to society, to the society from today. There's my first difficult word. Our society from today has a strong idea of manufacturability in combination with perfectionism. And that's just one sentence, but it plays an important role in our lives. We think we can control everything, our money, our health, the way how the world works. And we can't. We couldn't do that 100 years ago, we couldn't do that 1,000 years ago, and we still can do it. But people want to believe that they can, and they communicate a lot about it. And that in combination with perfectionism. Everything has to be perfect. Your house, your car, your wife, your husband, your kids, your education, your job. Everything has to be in perfect order. In combination with the manufacturability. So if people don't have all things in order, or there happen things that they don't want to happen, they got in mental problems more quickly than 20 years ago. So that's one thing. Second thing, that all what we do is stored in a way. Stored in the form of pictures, text messages, news messages, video. So everything is stored and displayed. So we have the urge to share our lives with others. Frequently on social media like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. And people have a nasty habit to only publish nice things, great things, big things, beautiful things. So if you spend a lot of time on social media, you can think that the world is perfect. And if you have problems in your life, or don't have a perfect house, or drive an old car, or don't have a car, you quickly can become pissed or depressed because of that. So that's the second one. Manufacturability, perfectionism in combination with sharing all with the world. And so in our minds, conscious and subconscious, we focus on making things perfect. We want also to have a perfect life, and that's happening in society with a lot of problems that go involved, that got with it. And now to our music, because our music is also displayed. If I if I search on YouTube for 542, the number from the short excerpt I play, I hear lots and lots of perfect renditions of perfect playing. And I think, gee, I want to learn it, but will I be ever as perfect as things I hear? That's a question. Yeah. So there's a lot of perfectionism out there, not only on YouTube, but also on Instagram, and you hear perfect things. Just being a perfect musician is the norm. And what's perfect in music? Perfect in music is for many people playing the right notes on the right moment. But is that music? Or is music more the interface between the written notes, which is science, and the human, the imperfect human that tries to perform it? Is that music? Or is music the thing you get if you take a sheet and scan it and transpose it to a MIDI file? Is that music? That's a nice question, I think. So we are focusing on playing the correct notes. That's a good thing, of course. We have to reproduce the composer in the best way. But sometimes we forget that a music sheet, a composition, it's something that's written at a certain moment, but it has to be perfect, or maybe it could be played a bit different. If you read the things that are written about César Franck, a world famous and a fantastic French romantic composer, he never played his compositions on the same way. Every time he played it different. He used different notes, different harmonies, different speeds, different sounds, different stops. And why? Because he wanted to experiment. He was in a certain church. He had an organ with a specific sound. He was in a bad mood, he was in a good mood. He was happy, he was unhappy, depressed. All things have impact on the way he performed his own pieces. So why are we so stubborn and focused only on playing the right notes? Because maybe you don't get music if you just play the notes. And I have a piece here. It's put it quickly away. It's a march. It's a march from Ludwig von Beethoven. A simple but well-known march. And a march is maybe the most structured form of music we know. A clear rhythm, often written in 2/2, there's 2 measures, up, down, and in the beginning of the march, of the ending of the march, is used for military music to let troops march in the same pace. So it's pretty structured. But still, if you just play the notes, you don't get music. And I can let you hear it. Because I'm gonna play a part of it, and I'm gonna play just the notes as written. And after that, I'm gonna play the same notes. But I hope you will recognize it sounds different. And we're going to talk about it later. So first I'm going to play just the notes. Just the notes. Now I'm gonna play the same notes on a different way. While I stay in the rhythm. The same piece. I made some errors. I hope you don't mind. But what's the difference? The difference is that in the second try I didn't play the notes. I played the space between the notes. Because in my opinion, music is developing. It's living, it's breathing between the notes, not on the notes. So if you master the spaces between the notes, then you are making music. And there is no MIDI robot, there is no computer that can manage the space between the notes. There's only a human who can. And that's the difference between MIDI sounds and real music. But back to the title, heart versus head. Is there a difference? Technically not, of course, because it sounds nice, but a heart is just a pump. And not just a pump, it's an important pump, because if the pump has an error, you have an error. You have a problem. And if the pump stops, then you stops. So the pump is very important. But a pump can't feel. But you can feel. And you need your feelings to make music. And what are feelings? Maybe we can talk about it. Ratio versus feeling. So thinking versus feeling. What's the difference? Maybe it's the same, because your feeling is steered by your thinking. So your thinking is important in the way how you, what your perception of things is, and how do you feel. So if you feel sad, it has to do with your brain and in how you think. or of course if you're missing some hormones or that kind of things. But your thinking is firing, steering, managing your feeling. So that's important to understand, because you have to use your feeling to make music. And what I see and what you can see on YouTube, a lot of making music is very irrational or looks irrational, because also we can't be thinking rational, I don't know English, as humans, because rational thinking is just a collection, a blended collection of your life experiences, your system experiences, the things you got when you were born, and the experiences that you have had in your life. That makes us believe that we are thinking rational. But it's nothing more than a whole collection of all kinds of things. So it has always it's always a part of your human being. So if you use your feeling with your playing, then you are making music. I know it sounds a bit difficult, but let's go back to the kind of music you gotta play. If I want to record the piece that I've played when I started this video, then I have to do a lot of thinking, and maybe I eventually will master it. I want to learn this, so maybe you will know it. But I'm also happy with playing other music. So one good advice from this video is play the music that you love, that you feel, that has meaning to you. Don't play Bach because everyone plays Bach. Don't play chorals because everyone plays chorals. Don't play Widor's toccata because a real organist is playing Widor's toccata. You have to look for yourself, decide for yourself. What's my balance between learning and having fun and having satisfaction about it? Because if the balance is wrong, then you eventually stop making music. And you can see it with young children who are starting with learning piano or organ or any other musical instrument. If they have to learn a lot of technical exercises, the Czerny horror, for instance, there are a lot of them who are stopping in 1 or 2 years. They don't like it. They can connect with it. They can feel it. It doesn't mean anything for them. By the way, if you are a piano teacher, you can learn kids the same technical things by learning them to play boogie woogies. And that's nice for them. And they can show off to their friends, and it has meaning, and it gives a nice feel, our whole feel. But we are focusing on maybe the wrong things, and also we as organists do that. If you watch on my channel, there are of course works from Buxtehude and Bach and Guillemot and Chigou and a lot of well-known composers. But there's also a lot of music from lesser-known composers. and often more easier to play. So for me, a mix works best to play real literature, well-known literature, but also works from more unknown composers, or unknown works from well-known composers. Today I've also published 2 chorals from Max Reger, from his opus 135A. For me still difficult, but pretty easy. And small works. So yeah, you have to work a bit to learn them, but not too long. And the award is great because it's fantastic. But most people only play Reger's big works, difficult. Takes hours, days, months to practice and to master. And that's okay, of course, if you want to. But if you also just want to play and publish other pieces, that's also fine. But don't feel obligated to only play the big top 25 works. Also because there are lots of people who play them. And if you're gonna listen to it on YouTube, maybe a lot of them are much better than you. That's also nice, much better than you. A second advice to you is don't compare yourself to others, because it isn't relevant. In making art, there isn't good versus bad. Yeah, of course, if you only play false and wrong notes and use strange rhythms, that's bad. But if you play a piece in the way you like it, that's your art. And some people will hate it, will laugh about you, and other pieces. Other people will find it fun, or attractive, or beautiful, because that's art. So don't compare yourself to others. Learn from others, develop. While watching to others, that is a nice way to learn. But don't compare yourself. And I'm proud on your own recordings and performances. And I think that's very important. So, a bit of a resume today is don't try to be perfect, because art is a combination from science and human interface, and a human isn't perfect. We aren't perfect, so your music hasn't to be perfect. That's two. Don't compare yourself with others. Of course, there are a lot of people better than you, and a lot of people are worse than probably. But you have the right to express yourself and to show yourself. And I want to see you, and I want to play, and a lot of others do. So don't feel discouraged. And 3, play the music that you like and that you love. And of course, you can learn difficult standards work if you like it. I do too. I admit it. But don't forget yourself, and take a look in the mirror and say to yourself, which kind of music that I play makes me very happy, and develop that. That will make you a better and a nicer musician, and more attractive if you're up to making a YouTube channel, for instance, or growing a YouTube channel. So that's 3 and 4. Don't forget that music is between the notes, not on the notes, between the notes. So don't try to play perfect notes. Try to catch the meaning of a piece. If you ask most composers, most living composers, what do you want? Do you want what do you prefer? That I play the notes as you written them perfectly? Or do you want that I catch the meaning as good as I can from your piece? I'm sure most composers will say the last one. And of course, they love it if you play the notes they have thought to be played as good as you can. But the meaning of the piece is for most of them most important. And if you are a composer, please react on this video and say if I am wrong or right. So that was the second video. Next week, the third video. I don't want to do a video about perfectionism. I have included it in this one. The last video next week is all about tips and tricks how to get along with anxiety while playing and recording. So how can you calm yourself? What can you do? What can you do if parts don't work? Or what can you do if you always make the same errors? So that's for next week. So I conclude this video with a short piece I want to play, which I love, not difficult. It's from a well-known Belgian composer from this century. No, not from this century, from the 20th century, from Floor Peters. I'm wishing you a nice day, nice evening, and let me know if you can use the tips and advices that I have given to you in this video. Have a nice day.